What's up, guys? I'm back with another video. Got had a lot of good conversation, in my opinion, when I put up my Hogue Magna Cut Deca video. Uh, and that is what more interests me, gaining some perspective, gaining more information, interacting, learning more things about different steels, different knives, different sharpening techniques, different experiences, etc. More so than just getting new knife after new knife and new steel after new steel, and just basically doing some tabletop stuff. One of the conversations that came up while I was talking about this knife here was about the difficulty to sharpen, and someone may want something like a Magna Cut because it's easier to sharpen, which, it's a new steel. We don't really know yet, but benefit of the doubt, it's easier to sharpen. When that's said, the one thing that always hits my mind is in what context is that person saying one thing is more difficult to sharpen versus another. And I'll give you a very good example, so that way you guys know I try to have full disclosure. And I am no expert. I started with S30V, Spyderco S30V, a Spyderco sharp maker. I would use my knife, it would get dull, very dull, like butter knife dull, and then I would want to take it to this medium and fine stone on the Spyderco sharp maker. You obviously know that those stones are not going to cut very fast. So then I ended up frustrated because it's not cutting very fast. That's causing me to have an even poorer technique. So now not only do I have stones that are not cutting fast enough for me being impatient, not saying that the stones could not work, but they were not the most efficient for the level of dullness the knife was at, and my skill level was not where it needed to be. And a lot of times when I hear people say something is difficult to sharpen versus something else, I think it's a combination of a few things. I think it is skill. I think it is equipment. I also think that we have a terrible problem in this community of repeating things over and over and over again until they become urban legend. And while I was thinking about this, something hit me, the whole Maximet thing. And I think that's probably the most recent steel that has been tagged with the too difficult to sharpen kind of scarlet letter stamp on it. That was said, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to mention any specifics. You can Google all that stuff. That whole conversation started up, and then you had an entire group of guys that had CBN or diamond stones come in and show you that they could sharpen a Maximet knife in minutes on a stone while they're talking and demonstrating what you need to do, and had little to no issue. That's why I say I think you have to have the equipment, and I think you have to have the skill. When you don't have the equipment and you don't have the skill, you put yourself in a frustrating situation like the sharp maker example that I just gave. And unfortunately, I think that is what leads a lot of people to quit. Honestly, it led me to quit at first. And then my way back into sharpening was I did purchase a DMT stone. I purchased a coarse. I purchased like 2 double-sided stones. I think coarse, maybe it was extra coarse, coarse, fine, and extra fine. But I had 2 double-sided stones. And then I started sharpening my 1095 on those diamond stones. So it was easy for me to get an edge because obviously diamond is overkill for soft 1095 on a traditional knife. Was it that steel was literally easier to sharpen, meaning that I could not have gotten an edge on a knife with something like a S30, S45, Magna Cut, whatever, on those diamond stones with the same relative ease, maybe a few more passes. We're talking more passes, more so than number of minutes. Absolutely. But my skill level was not up to par, and my equipment, until I picked up those stones, it didn't fit me. It didn't fit my style. There are plenty of people that have used crock sticks and sharp makers for years and years and years, but I think a large part of that also is you cannot let your knife get but so dull. Those medium stones just are not going to cut but so fast. But yeah, I just, that kind of hit my mind as I was having those conversations. Just what does it mean when people say something is more difficult to sharpen? Where have we seen that type of conversation pop up? And what have we seen people do with those steels that are tagged with that too hard to sharpen tag, like a Maximet? Again, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Always looking for the dialogue, always wanting to dig deeper. That's really what I'm here for. Like I said, I'm not here for the latest and greatest thing. I only picked up the MagnaCut because it was a steel I hadn't tried. It was something that I wanted to go ahead and give a shot because it was claimed that it basically is stainless 4V, and I'm all about my tool steel, so I wanted to see if that was true. Still don't really have enough use on the knife to say one way or the other. I did sharpen this pencil. I have sharpened this knife. It was sharpened, like I said, on the 100 and 240 grit Veneve Diamond Stone. The bevels were uneven. It did take me a little bit to even them out. They're still not perfectly even. I mentioned that on my Instagram page. I'm not one of the guys that's looking for the perfectly symmetrical bevels. I'm looking for a knife that is sharp. So I did 100, 240. The knife is sharp. I do have some paper here we can show you. And you can also see I did cut this pencil a little bit, sharpen the pencil a little bit. You can see here. No real catches or anything like that. It does feel a little bit more dull at the tip. But like I said, this is fresh off of the stone. And I think on my Instagram video, I caught a glimpse of a little bit of burr back here. So again, back to just skill and paying attention to what you're doing and knowing how to fix what's going on. I think that a lot of time that is what is left out of that conversation of quote unquote too difficult to sharpen or hard to sharpen. So again, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.